Hello and welcome back to Citizen Sleeper part 29. And I was getting a bit excited about maybe we're like getting the finale today. Like, not the finale. I believe we have done all of the endings now, and we are in DLC land. And then I just had a little look up to see like the DLC. And basically, so what I did know is that there's 3 DLC chapters planned, right? We're obviously in the first one now, but I think there is also a second one after this one. So we may not quite be at the end yet because we have another chapter to do, and I believe the 3rd chapter has not been properly announced or released yet, or at least at time of recording. But then we will also be back to do that, providing I get Game Pass and Citizen Sleeper is still on there between, you know, providing Citizen Sleeper is still on Game Pass and I have Game Pass around the time that the DLC is released. So that is where we stand with the DLC. So it could be another couple of episodes or more. I don't know how long they are. Like, if this one's anything to go by, it's probably going to be pretty substantial. So we're just gonna finish this one probably today, and then see how we get on. So, with that said, let's sleep because sleep is good for the soul. Also, I don't have a good handle on our situation of scrap. Ooh, okay, not bad. A drone? What is happening right now? A rapid burst of movement catches your attention. A drone, its fins adjusting as it hovers in place, floats in the corridor. Hello? The drone shifts a little but does not respond. The drone buzzes closer and a voice gurgles out of its speaker, distorted and strange. Sleeper, come to the cordon. We need to speak. Who is this? They're not going to tell me. The drone clicks in words. Oh, and the recording starts playing again. Sleeper, come to the cordon. We need to speak. Can we inspect it? You move closer and the drone bobs away to a safe distance. But as it does, you see the HA of Havenage emblazoned on its side. Could this be Feng's drone? Feng? What you doing here? Satisfied it has delivered its message, the drone rotates and accelerates away as rapidly as it arrives. You stare at it as it disappears from sight, hoping for some insight that escapes you. To the cordon, then. Alright, well. Color me intrigued. Is Feng helping us, or is there something else happening here? Unknown. As you enter the passage that leads through the cordon, a flash of movement catches your eye. The drone. It stops to make sure you've seen it and then flits into a side passage leading to a set of narrow stairs. You climb through a dark shaft, the drone stopping at each landing to check you are following. Despite its lack of expression, there's something overbearing about the way the drone waits, impatiently realigning its fins in sequence. Oh, I thought it was endearing, but no, it's just impatient. After a long climb, you come out onto an observation platform. The cordon and the vast, ramshackle refugee ships beyond fill your vision. The scale seems impossible, and immediately you feel small and naive for even thinking you could affect this situation. Something shifts nearby. The drone again? Oh, frustrated Havenage counselor. A woman is stood in the window at the edge of your vision. You aren't surprised you didn't notice her. She too seems impossibly small in the shadow of the flotilla. The drone buzzes by her shoulder and she turns. Helen, maybe. Sleeper, sorry for all the cloak and dagger nonsense. She nods at the drone, but I have never regretted being cautious. That is a good sentence to live by. Never regretted being cautious. I like her hair. It's got like the ombre going on. She smiles a tight smile and holds out a hand. I'm Helen? Helen? Helen. Shake a hand. The tight smile holds, but the drone keeps its single eye fixed on you. The effect is a little unnerving. Look. She glances around the empty observation deck as if checking for potential eavesdroppers. Let's be straight with each other. I know about your plans and... She cuts in before you can respond. I understand your motives. You look at her in her overalls, the yellow markers, the HA sigil. You've been on the eye long enough to recognize a Havenage member when you see them. You are Havenage. Yes, I mean, I expect that is obvious. The tight smile again. I hope you won't hold that against me. She glances around nervously and moves a little closer. This entire situation, I am not here to defend it. She glances back at the flotilla. No one is happy about this. I mean, I don't think she has a say in this. But let's say it anyway, just in case. You never know. She sighs. How do you think this works? She pauses. Sleeper, tell me something. What does Havenage mean to you? Harden Hearst, a work in progress, a fresh start. Is Harden not that man? She squints at you. That was unfortunate, but you should know it was one of our own who exposed Harden, and that has been dealt with. Maybe it is the second one, whatever that was. It wasn't a fresh start, a work in progress. That was it. Havenage is used to being criticised, and in some way we invite it. Our members are free to bring up grievances at any meeting, to propose new structures and approaches. See, that's good. Constructive criticism drives, you know, evolution, I guess. She shifts her weight impatiently. As a counsellor, it is my duty to listen to them. That is why I was elected by the members. We are an imperfect system, yes, and each counsellor, each member, each representative can be flawed. And worse. She looks down. But we keep this place running. That's what we do. And the flotilla? She turns and looks out at the clump of fractured ships. The flotilla is the problem. Can the Eye take in thousands of refugees safely? I don't know. This place is a ruined, Sleeper. What do you think the council discusses? The price of Jarol? We make plans to keep this place spinning, to keep life support working, to ensure Helen, I'll just call her Helen. Helen Slate chirps, and a grim look passes across her face as she sees a notification. She looks tired, the screen light casting a rigid expression in a pale glow. Sleeper, I didn't bring you here to explain how Havenage works. I came to talk about your plan to cross the cordon, breach the quarantine, and supply the flotilla. Oh. She knows a lot, eh? Play dumb. How do you know? She glances at the drone. I make it my job to know what happens here. I know you think you're helping the flotilla, but you cannot do this. Right now, halfway along the ring, one of a countless series of debates are being held. These debates are to evacuate the potential harm that could be caused if the refugees of the flotilla are left to enter the station. These debates are at a standstill. Helen talks to the window. Too many in the Havenage Council think the flotilla is a threat. After recent events, a hardline group has emerged. Protective, selfish. They seek only to benefit the members. In their mind, the flotilla is danger to life on the Eye. If you are caught crossing the cordon and breaching the quarantine, it will only strengthen the hardline councillor's case. Criminals who stole a ship from XPR undermining the security of the station? She shakes her head. It's exactly what they want. The refugees need supplies. They do, and that's exactly what I want to give them. But unless the quarantine is lifted through a fair process, they will never get them. She sighs deeply. And those XPR spaces you're running with? Sleeper, do you know anything about them? Do I, though? I know a bit about their personality. I never asked them why they're helping them. More than I know about you. She looks at you pleadingly. Let's change that, Sleeper. Why do you think the refugee flotilla came here now? Something is happening in the system. Something is pushing people out of colonies and outposts that have survived since the Solheim collapse. We need to be ready for whatever is coming. Ready to protect the Eye. I know the Eye means something to you. I know there's a reason you're still here. Help me protect it. Helen fixes you with a strong look. Persuade those spaces that this is the wrong move, that they will get caught and the flotilla will be locked down, that havenage will be delivered into those with worst instincts. Forget this suicidal supply run with people you barely know. Help me fight for the Eye. Why don't you stop them? If I explode the plan, it's the same as if I goes ahead. If I explode the plan, it's the same as if it goes ahead and they are caught. Every way I look at it, the Eye looks compromised, the quarantine justified, the hardliners get their scapegoat. Don't offer up the excuse the hardliners need to lock the flotilla out altogether, to persuade the members they are the safest pair of hands. Please, she looks at you imploringly. You look back at her and the flotilla behind, and a sense of desperation in her plea. A notification breaks the silence. Shit. She rapidly scrolls through the pages of data. Sleeper, I need to go. She looks torn. Think about this, please. She talk to the spaces and help them see reason. And she quickly leaves the observation deck before you have time to respond. You stay for a moment, watching the lights of the tugs and the flotilla, and wonder what it feels like to be on one of those ships, so close to your destination, and yet so far from it. And then you think of the Havenage Council chamber across the Eye, where the right of these people to find safety is being debated. You shiver, and then you too are gone, back into the stairwell and the cold dark below. Oh man, this is a dilemma, because I feel like she knows what she's talking about. God damn. Like, is this genuinely gonna cause so much harm? But what are we meant to do? Let them starve? Like, can we not? How long is this quarantine? Can we not send someone out? Like, oh my god. Can we not somehow get rid of can I just assassinate these assholes on the council that are trying to take over? And oh man. I don't know how to talk to them. Oh, that's not the one. I guess we'll talk to them when the days count down. And in the meantime, we should get prepared. I don't know what to do. I genuinely do not know what to do. Because these people need help now. But in the long run, like, I mean, that answers it, right? These people need help now. But yeah, this is gonna cause damage. But what are we meant to do? Right, the 4. Hold on, because we were done this one. Yeah, let's put the 5 in here at least. Oh, we could get them caught. Oh no, that would have the same effect, wouldn't it? Yeah. Okay. Oh shit. But like, how does that point even stand? I don't get it. Can people not read between the lines and see that the reason that there's a security breach is to help the people? It's not as if they're breaking in. We're breaking out to give them stuff. Okay. Peek. Peek is waiting for you and you slip out of the operations center, nervously poking at their small slate. Sleeper, they hiss. I followed what you were doing on the network. Incredible work. How do you do that? It comes naturally. Peak smiles. I can't tell if that's modesty or just the truth. Interfacing skills like that, it's almost worth being. They stop themselves. Sorry, I didn't mean it. I didn't mean... Don't worry about it. Sorry. You and Pete quietly slip into the main walkway and work your way back to the public areas of the cordon. Havenage has had to quickly respond to the flotilla's arrival, and that means a lot of contractors and spacers walking through these corridors. You blend in easily enough. I haven't really met a sleeper before, Peak begins. As you might have guessed, they smile nervously. Oh, as you might have guessed. Hawthorne is an XPR service outpost, and since the collapse, no one came for refueling or repairs anymore. So my generation has never met anyone outside the company. Yeah, because these guys were just there as a placeholder. We heard about sleepers. They nodded in your direction. From the data packets that came through from XPR every once in a while. They usually contain news along with corporate propaganda, but the reports were light on the details. S and ARP have kept the sleeper program pretty quiet anyway, and I think XPR are only interested in telling their employees about it because it made living in our company town look like a good life, in comparison to being a piece of corporate property. They freeze. That's just so grim. Sorry, again, I don't mean... They look down. I'm just not sure how to talk about this stuff. It's okay. Peak smiles. Oh, bless me. I'll shut up about it now. You walk on a little further, the walkway becoming busier. You both relax a little more and go with the flow of people. I just want to say, I think I understand. They begin, again. Clearly this has been on their mind. I understand the need to escape, to get free of it all. They laugh at themselves. The structures, the systems, the company horizons in a company town. They stare ahead. The small places, small corridors, small people. They look away. The slow death it brings. That's it. They turn to you. I get why you signed up to be a sleeper, and why you escaped from it too. Let's nod. You try to form words, but you can't. There's altogether too much running through your head. But you look at Peak, and they look at you, and that seems okay for now. You walk in silence, each of you in their own thoughts, but moving together through space nonetheless. After a while, you come to the entrance to the cordon, where handfuls of workers and crews filter in and out through two huge loading bay doors. Peak stops. Okay, they pause. I'm heading back to the Briar. Once again, incredible work on the sensors. That blind spot you created, that should give us a real advantage. If we pull this off, they might not even know we did it. That's a consideration. See you soon. They headed off, disappearing into the crowd almost immediately, outrunning their own nervousness. Yeah, I feel that. Okay, that's these two done, right? You've created a blind spot which will appear on the cycle of Eshi's run. How long it will remain open is yet to be seen. And like, this deed that we do, it could also make people rise up, maybe, and be like, we gotta help people. We want this to be a... Like, just get rid of these assholes that are fear-mongering. Look, like, I understand the need for the quarantine. I get it. But why is there not a better system is what I don't understand. There has been time to get this in place. And like, okay, so she's saying something is happening elsewhere to cause all these people to come here. Yes, that makes sense. And we don't have infinite resources. But more people means also we can fight harder, especially the refugees. Because, like, they know what it's like. They've got a reason to fight. Right. So we need 5 more dice into here. And we can do 2 right now. Oh, we could do another 2. If we get this roll. Positive or neutral? No, neutral could still bring suspicion. I think that's what I did before, isn't it? Oh! Oh! Oh, I love it when that happens. Okay, 1 more dice. We finish this tomorrow. I don't know if I'm doing the right thing. But we'll make decisions as they crop up, I guess. Right, we're good. Because if we look at this now, tomorrow we're done. Yeah, okay. And it's our final scrap. Shit. We'll have to just have 4 dice for a bit and then we can stabilize. We can't buy stabilizer anymore, can we? Oh dear. We could screw this up. The wastes. What am I doing? Sleeping? I think I'm sleeping. Scrap? No, we can always just spend an entire day collecting scrap. Yeah, no, we're fine. Yeah, we don't need to do anything else here. Let's end this cycle. Five and a 5. Oh. Peak. Sleeper. Peak is waiting for you when you leave, but they look different. Pale. Drawn out. You need to come up to the Brian now. They don't meet your eye. What's happened? Not here. Come to the ship. We'll be waiting. Peak walks away. Don't take long. And with that, they disappear around the corner, leaving you anxious and confused. Yeah, anxious. What has happened? As you walk to the climbing briars cavernous bay, now filled with crates and containers, Eshy is waiting for you. In front of her, sliced open, with its inside scattered across the top of a heavy-duty crate, is an object you recognize. Helen's drone. Oh, shit. Also, I've just remembered, don't forget about these explosives. I forgot about those. You freeze. Come in quick. Peak nudges you into the bay, looking behind you before sealing the entryway. We have to start being careful. You move closer to the container, your eyes on the drone split out in pieces, some parts of it hooked up to a slate that Peak picks up and begins tapping away at. As she looks at you, looks up from the dissection. We caught it buzzing around nearby, heading for the ship. She leans over and taps the HA sigil on one of the removed pieces of plating. It's a Havenage spy. Yeah, I don't know nothing about that. We think we got it before it sent data back, but we can't be sure. Peak looks at you nervously. As she cuts in, have you noticed anyone watching you? Any drones like this? Anyone following you up to the Briar? Yeah, why lie? I've seen this drone. Following you? I met its owner. As she pauses for a while, Peak looking between the two of you. Explain, Sleeper, as she says quietly. I'm telling them. I don't know what difference that's gonna make. You explain that you met Helen at the Cauldron, and you tell Eshy and Peak about what she told you. That Havenage Council are debating lifting the quarantine, but they are blocked by the hardliners. You speak faster and faster, but before you can finish, Eshy walks away in anger and then comes back again, her eyes burning. What is this, Sleeper? Have you understood nothing from what we've told you? She paces in front of you. Havenage are not your friends. They are administrators, which means they are interested only in their own power, their own survival, their own causes. Okay, hold on a second. How do you know this? right? Second of all, why are you shouting at me about this? They divide people as easily as sorting livestock. The greater good of their work demands it. No, yeah. The wider project of the station, the colony, the nation. Her eyes are wide as she speaks, her anger barely contained. I didn't have a choice! Pete cuts in. Listen to them, please, Eshi. They are with us. Pete glances between you two. What was the sleeper supposed to do? They were ambushed by this Helen. I am gonna say she's trying to help. Or should I say I only listened? She's trying to help. Let me tell you something, Sleeper, as she says, her rage hardening into pain. When people become administrators, they give up something. Some part of being human, being an equal among others, goes away. They start talking about the greater good, the systems, the way in which their hands are tied, or their processes compromised. My mother was the administrator of Hawthorne, and I have seen what it did to her. That noble, higher calling, it is toxic. People should never have the chance to decide the fate of others, and those that do so at the cost of their humanity. Peek tries to cut in, but as she holds up a hand. Don't start, Peek. Don't ask me to be reasonable or calm down. Thousands of people are desperate out there. Being reasonable will only prolong their suffering. Oh, here we go, the 50-50 choice. She can help, or you are right. She can help. The thing is, right, we need this to be a system, a change in the system, not just a one-off, because next time, when even more refugees come, they get turned away immediately, right? If we do this, potentially. We need... These debates are happening, right? Right now, and they're being blocked. And us doing this is fuel to that fire. Am I being manipulated? There are people that go into politics and they say in administration, which I think is politics, with a pure heart. I guess they probably don't last. But I don't see why she would have a hidden agenda here, because think back to her, she was begging us. Like, she wants the change. I think I might be being manipulated, but I do not want to be the example and make things worse, you know, which is what might happen. Helen can help. As she turns away, I'm done with this. You are risking this entire supply run just by being here. She walks back into the bay and starts checking the straps on the crates. I go next cycle. We don't need you anymore. Get out. Sleeper, Peek looks torn. You have to understand. This is personal for Eshi. I know. Peek looks away, then at Eshi. I don't know, Sleeper. I just don't know what to do. See, Peek's more like me. They're like unsure. You glance around the bay of Briar, the walls seeming closer every second. This whole thing is closing in on you, and the question is, where do you want to be when it all collapses? You look at Peek. And what do you think, Sleeper? Peek rubs their forehead. Should we do this thing or not? I don't mean to take the coward's way out. I genuinely don't know. Peek nods. Me neither. They look at Eshi, but you see her? She knows. And she saved my life, so I'm gonna say we do it. They squeeze your shoulder. Onward. They slip away to help Eshi, leaving you alone to replay the conversation in your head. A certain kind of grim determination settling in the room. Last chance to prepare. Okay, so she's gone tomorrow instead of today? That's fine, because we're done. Oh, not this one. We are done. Got everything you need. We're at least giving them the best chance to succeed. This is gonna be a weird conversation. Pete grins as you pile the iron thruster sets onto the motorized trolley in a derelict loading bay. I borrowed this from Eshi. I barely know how it works. One of those trolleys. They seem giddy at the idea of stealing the ship parts from Havenage. I thought you worked for XPR. I did, but not as a repair tech. They help you heave the thruster into position. My specialty was computer systems. I mostly worked on keeping the protocols that ran the refueling platforms from totally decaying due to lack of use. Oh, yeah, I forgot nothing's getting used over there. There was a load of platforms in orbit of the moon. There's a load of platforms in orbit of the moon Hawthorne is on, and Cinder itself. Eshi and I ended up having to head out to them regularly to work on them. Sounds technical. Peak smiles. That was the best job at Hawthorne. You get assigned a ship, you get to leave the colony for a bit. So much better than outpost maintenance or canteen work. The only reason we got assigned it was that Eshi's mother is the administrator of Hawthorne, and Eshi managed to get my name on the list too. Peak looks for the trolley's ignition. Eshi is always saving me. They find the switch and hit it. The trolley starts whining. Peak looks at the thrusters. Eshi will install these. The Briar is her baby, really. Peak looks towards the bay exit. Truth be told, I was surprised she could bring herself to take it from her mother. Losing a ship? That has to hurt the colony. What is her mother like? Tough. You have to be to keep control of service. My god, I'm tripping over my words today, aren't I? Tough. You have to be to keep control of a services outpost with no services to provide. Peak looks away. It's a tough place overall, Hawthorne. And Eshi's mom? She likes it that way. Peak shuffles the trolley out of the bay into the corridor. They'll manage without the Briar. No choice, Peak smiles. And I have to admit, I'd love to have seen her face when she saw it had gone. We had gone. Peak pauses. Don't tell Eshi that. They walk on quietly, lost in their memories of Hawthorne. Okay, I think I can manage the rest. Peak brushes their hair out of their face. You've done more than enough this cycle. Yeah, I've done more than enough. Peak looks over the thrusters. Once these are fitted, the Briar will handle better than ever. You might even get a thank you from Eshi. I don't think so. I don't think so, Peak, at all. They head off down the corridor, the trolley whining its high-pitched whine. See you soon. Bye! See you soon, friend. Okay. Well, that's all done. They can't complain. And we still have dice. Let's just work our way backwards and see what we think we might want. Scrap. Labs. No, the Avery. That. Yeah. Because that might get us this, so we can get another stabilizer. Just cause. It did! Yay! Finally. Again, now we'll have 5 instead of 4. How did we ever survive with just 4? I hope they don't need this for the refugees. Those mushrooms that I just used. Right. Oh, that wasn't... I was sure we would definitely get a high dice here. Oh. 50-50. Oh shit. Oh, that's... You know what? That's fine. Because we now get to use the stabilizer. We're starving. What else are we... Okay, now that we know there's like another chapter of the DLC, we should make sure we're still using our dice. Like, don't just assume this is all over. So what do we want to do with a 1 and a 2? We should probably just use them on energy. I think. Yeah. And then we can use the stabilizer to get it back full, and then we can try and make sure we're getting scrap to make sure it doesn't go right down again. Oh wow, we still need to go. Oh, for fuck's sake. Okay, let's just go and buy some food. From somewhere. Can we just buy food here? No, that's not the place. Here. I think that these only give us 2 though, don't they? Yeah, we should have gone. Never mind. It's more convenient, but it's less value for money. It's alright, we still have loads to sell. Let's then sleep here. Take our stabilizer and do another day. Yeah, that one there is not even a real one. That half. Oh, I guess it is. Ooh, that's some dice. Now give me something useful to use them on, please. I thought you were going today. You said you were going. Have I got nothing to do today? No. This is all done. Let's just check everywhere. Actually, we can just check here. Yeah, we can just end the cycle. There's nothing happening, and I've got these dice. Right, let's we can get some scrap. We could use this day to get like loads of scrap. What else are we gonna do with it? Mushrooms? We could put 2 in here and get 2 scrap. And then plant some more. Yeah. Because I don't know what else we're gonna do. Oh, damn. Okay. We didn't get any more of the rare mushrooms. Fine. But we can plant some more spores. It's a shame it doesn't just plant the 3 at once. So now this is going to be on a countdown, which is fine. And then we can just use these for scrap and this for energy and sleep again then. Because we've got nothing else going on right now. Where is the scrap? Here. Somewhere. Here it is. We have so many mushrooms that we can sell. I don't think that there's anything else we need to be doing here. And I don't even need to use the scrap tonight, but we can use it tomorrow. Yeah. Nice. Okay, that felt like a waste of a day. But we needed the next day to happen anyway. We needed now to happen. Right, okay, that's some noises sensing that something's happening. She's gone, Sleeper. Pig is breathless and shaking. She started the run without us. Is she? The pig looks confused. Who else? I should have just said shit. Let's go. If we head to the cordon now, Pig starts back up the corridor. They turn back. She has to make it, Sleeper. She has to. A shiver runs down your spine. Eshi, I hope you know what you're doing. Please tell me she used all of the things that we worked towards. The cordon. Okay, let's see. You arrive, frantic and anxious, at the cordon. Peak is nowhere to be seen. Then you hear footsteps hammering on the metal stairway Helen's drone leaded you through before. The one that leads up to the observation deck. You leap up the stairs 2 at a time and make it to the top, momentarily blinded by the light pouring into the observation deck. Sleeper, Peak emerges from the light. I know she's trying to protect me, but... what was she thinking? She was always planning this, I know it. They turn away. How could I have not seen it coming? There she is. Peak rushes to the wide window, leaning forward to catch a glimpse of the climbing Briar's blue XPR livery against the black of the void. Damn, I found. Okay. You spot the climbing Briar, a glint of blue and white. Beside it, the red glare of a tug's lights. The tug crew went with her. Peak smiles. I knew they'd keep her word. That'll help. Peak doesn't seem to hear you, but the idea of the crew backing Eshe up makes you smile. Maybe this thing will work. You watch as the Briar and its tug escort arc down towards the edge of the cordon, demarcated by the red lights on the perimeter system. So far, so good. The Briar will just look like another refugee ship being escorted into the cordon, at least at a glance. Peak grips the rail as Eshe reaches the edge of the cordon, that invisible net of sensors splayed between ships and drawers. Now let's hope the blind spot triggered. You think back to the mess of systems you had to wade through to set it up, the delicate contingencies you set up to trigger the sensor blackout just at the right moment. Without noise, without ceremony, the Briar slides through the cordon. You await the flickering of alarms, the swarming of drones, but nothing. Just another cycle, just another ship. Eshe is in. Both you and Peak let out a breath you've been holding, and laugh. How did she do it? Peak smiles, shaking their head. We did it. We did. Peak smiles wider. Yes, we did. They laugh. You feel a little shaky from the tension, but Peak's ease helps you settle. You imagine Eshe, steely-eyed, the pilot seat of the Briar, searching for a place to dock. Maybe being stubborn has its advantages. You okay? Me? Peak sighs. I think that took years off my life, but I've got to hand it to Eshe. She was right. We don't know that yet. Why don't we wait until she gets back before we get confident? You and Peak turn back to the window, looking for the Briar again amongst all those holes, the calm fading as new worries settle in. You spot the Briar first this time, docking with the largest of the flotilla's ships. A vast converted tanker, half of its protective plates removed. You think about the effort it must have taken to get that thing all the way here from the inner system. You watch the Briar, unable to get any sense of progress from its placid exterior. They will be offloading everything now, Peak says, both assuring you and themselves that everything is going to plan. You think of all the supplies loaded into the Briar and how long the process of unloading them might take. The bay was packed, rammed with everything you could offer, and the thought of bringing all that to the flotilla makes you smile. You think of the reaction of the refugees, of the welcome they'll give Eshe as the bearer of such gifts. You even imagine a smile from Eshe as she is showered with thanks. You focus on that as you watch the Briar, and continue the nervous wait for it to finish unloading. It's breaking off. Peak points at the Briar, and you see the puff of air and dust that accompanies an emergency depressurization. Eshe must have ended things early, but why? Then you see them, the tugs closing in on the Briar. Havenage must have spotted the ship. How are they allowed in the... Oh, are the tugs the remote control ones? Like, how are they allowed in the quarantine zone? That's not how quarantines work. Like, one way to have done it Would one way to have done it not have just been to go out and then just join the quarantine zone? And bring loads of... I mean, you might never be allowed back in, though, is the risk. But, like, quarantine's a one-way thing, usually. Havenage must have spotted the ship. You and Peek are up against the window again, willing the Briar a safe path out of the flotilla. Suddenly, the Briar shifts in space, a blue blur between two holes. Peek whistles. Look at that! They smile at you. Looks like those upgrades we put together work. So everything we've done has helped. This would probably have gone very differently if they didn't get the escort or if we didn't do the sensors. You watch as she cuts through the crowded flotilla, the tugs not daring to follow her dangerous path and peeling away. It's hard to keep track of the Briar, and suddenly both Hugh and Peek are searching the black for a sign. Where is she gone? Then all of a sudden, she is out. Blue against the black, pulling away from the cordon on a wide arc back towards the station. A clean run. Peek cheers and smiles at you. We did it, she's out. They beam uncontrollably at you, the tension released. You find yourself smiling too, smiling at these two beautiful idiots and their beautiful ship. Then Peek is hugging you, squeezing you with all the nervous energy they had been building. Thank you, Sleeper. We did this together. They step back, still smiling. We did something. Aww. Yeah, we did. Come on. They rush off out the observation deck. Let's meet her. Oh, okay. That's good. That's really good. Where are we meeting? Here, okay. Although, surely they can trace us back to here. You and Peek rush into the Briar, finding yourselves in the now empty bay. The change is a reminder of what you achieved, and looking around, you feel all the more satisfied. A hiss sounds at the far end of the bay, and as she enters, looking exhausted. Peek runs up to embrace her, but she sits down on the bay floor before they reach her. You did it, they sit beside her. Eshe, you were incredible. She smiles a small smile at this, laying her head on Peek's shoulder. You suddenly feel like you're intruding, seeing the two of them like this, quiet and content. Sleeper, Peek calls, come on over. You cross the bay and sit beside them on the hard metal floor. Eshe, Peek asks, did you give the flotilla our chairs? They both burst out laughing at the ridiculousness of it all, at the exhaustion and the worry and everything else. You laugh too, it's impossible not to, and after a while you all come to a stop, Peek wiping their eyes and Eshe shaking her head. You would have loved to see it, Sleeper, Eshe says quietly, the welcome I got. They came to greet the ship once I docked to offload supplies. I told them I was coming, of course, as soon as I got inside the cordon, but there were so many. Children, families. They were smiling at me, shaking my hand. Sol was there too, Peek, and he's just as gruff as he sounds over comms. She smiles. Did we not smuggle anyone in? Because we could have done that, right? Although maybe that would have been too dangerous if she got caught. They took it all, crate after crate, until the ship was emptied out, as she looks away. But there were so many. Even with everything we managed to bring, they needed more. They made me promise I would try to come back. Eshe, Peek shakes their head. You know we can't do that twice. Eshe stands up. What are we supposed to do? Wait for them to lift the quarantine? She is angry again, that familiar tension rising in her voice. Peek tries to pull her back down. Sit, Eshe, rest. You have done enough for today. Don't, Peek. I know my limits. Eshe hardens. Okay, well, seeing as they didn't catch you, perhaps they will lift it. They know the flotilla poses no danger now, and if they can account for the extra load on the life support. Eshe walked away towards the ladder that leads to the upper part of the ship. I need to rest, Peek. She holds up a hand. Sleeper? Then limps up the ladder, step by painful step. I'm afraid if you are expecting a change in Eshe's demeanor, Peek smiles at you. It's okay, let her rest. Peek nods. I think I need some rest too. They put a hand on your shoulder and get up from the floor. We couldn't have done this without you, Sleeper. And I know those in the flotilla would thank you too. Go and rest. He climbs up the ladder too, leaving you alone on the metal floor of the bay. Your thoughts drift to all those people in the flotilla, sleeping and sitting on metal floors like this. Children, families, playing in cargo bays and repurposed fuel tanks. You know their story isn't over yet, and you look forward to meeting them. The quarantine will lift. You feel more sure of this fact every moment, even though you aren't sure why. You lie back on the metal and stare at the ceiling. What was it Feng told you? Erlin said. The eye opens for us all? Maybe the old guy was right. A home for the lost. You like the idea of that. Maybe in time you can help make that a reality. But something is bothering you. A sliver of a thought, like a splinter you can't extract. Why are thousands of refugees coming here now? People don't abandon their homes for nothing. What wave is rushing through the system, and when will it reach the eye? You shudder on the cold metal floor and get up. Something is coming. You can feel it. This isn't over. Awesome. Alright. Well, I feel like that's the end of that chapter. With some, like, cliffhangeriness. It wrapped itself up. And then it also was like, something's coming. So, the cordon. Here we go. Episode Flux complete. The first part of the flotilla's story is complete. Episode Refuge begins when the cycle clock below is filled. Okay, 3 days. The gathering storm. What's done is done. Now all you can do is wait to see what happens next. That is literally all that we can do because we've done everything else. So what I guess I'll do, I'll finish this day up and then I'll call it a day on the episode, and next episode we'll begin Refuge. And again, the only thing is the third episode is not out yet, so we're gonna be incomplete, but at least we know Refuge is gonna be the last bit for now. And I imagine that'll take a couple of episodes, so I was a bit wrong on my predictions, but that's okay. I'm not complaining at all. So, what do we want to do with these? I think we just need to stock up once again on scrap. We haven't checked the ships over here for a while. Oh, it's here. Oh. Let's just buy it all. We'll probably get some more. Yeah, I knew it. Fragments. I didn't even sell the last one that we made. I just didn't know if we would need it in the DLC for some reason. If we needed to, like, repair a ship or something. Is this one back in? No. Yeah, okay. What is going on over here? Let's just check. Oh, it's absolutely empty now. Okay. Yeah, we're like... all we can do now is bide our time by making sure we've got enough condition to last. The money is making itself. Yeah, that's just scrapping. Oh, wait. I was meant to be checking over here. Yeah, we cannot buy vials anymore. Which makes sense, I guess. Because we got the last of them. But now... mushrooms. So this is going to help with condition. And scrap is going to help with condition. And that's what our focus can be over the next few days. Oh, yeah. Didn't we lose condition by getting neutral last time? Right, well, we can get 2. And then... Don't really know. Maybe just... I don't really want to use the 4s on there. I've got nothing else to spend. Just... We've even got plenty of spores. Let's get another batch of spores. So then we've got 2 batches. We could just get another batch of spores. Because what else are we going to do with it? And then use the 3. Maybe we should be using that to earn a bit more money, but again, we have so much. And then we can photosynthesize. We can scrap up. And then that is the end. I hope that this bit saves. Usually it does. That is the end of today's episode then. And we're still not at the end, but we have a clear focus that we have the next chapter of the DLC to do. The Flux DLC took us... Oh, I don't know how many episodes, but we will only be primarily focusing on that. So, oh, remember how much scrap that took? So yeah, we have got... I imagine it's going to be resource heavy again. But I think we can manage it, especially if they want Matsutake caps. Because we have many Matsutake caps. But that is it for the day then. And the series goes on another day. So thank you so much for watching. I hope that you have enjoyed. And as we are closing in on the end, I just want to thank anyone for watching this series and going through this with me. I look forward to the next couple, which is going to be wrapping up my recording of this. So thank you so much for hanging around. I really, really appreciate it. And I'll see you next time for some more Citizen Sleeper. Bye bye.